Time for plots, how to plot data. We'll start with a very simple example, how to make a plot of a function. Let's say we have x values that goes from -10 to 10. Then we have y values that simply x in the power of 3. And because x is a vector and I would like to take every element of this vector and take a power of 3 of this element, I need to add this little dot as we discussed recently. Okay. So if I run this code, you can see that I got two vectors, 21 element in each. Now I can make a plot. So you can just write function plot x, y. So it makes a plot. It will make dots corresponding to x and y coordinates and connect these dots with a line. So that's the plot. Okay. So that's the plot, and you can see that it looks pretty nice, even though it doesn't have a lot of things that usually you need on the plot, like title and so on. But it's extremely fast to make a plot in MATLAB. Okay, and it's already very high quality plot actually. Now, how to add some accessories to this plot? And by accessories, I mean first of all, its title, different labels, and all that kind of things. It's fairly easy. Every time you write something after you made a plot, it will be considered, if it's a plot function, it will be considered that you want to change this last plot. For example, if you write title, function plot, it means add a title to the current plot. So if I run it again, you can see that I have a title, function plot. Okay. There is a little problem here. So if I, for example, do not close this figure, but click on the MATLAB, now it's hidden, right? Of course, I can get it back, but if it's hidden and if you run this again, you will not see this window. So if I, for example, if I would like to add a label, so I can write x label, then x values, and if I run it, I will not get the window because it's there, it's hidden. You can see it here. Look, x labels, x values. But if you hide it once, you have to recall it again and get it back again, and so on. So if you want, you can force MATLAB to create a new figure every time to make a plot. So you can write figure before you start actually making a plot. It will be more reasonable to do it here because this is just calculations. And now every time I run it, I make a new figure. So look how many figures I have. Okay, so I have many different figures. And that's also an issue, right? So a workaround for that is to close the figures first and then start making new ones. So you can write close all, means close all figures with plots and then make a new one. Okay. So in this case, now every time you run it, you will get just one figure because it will automatically close the previous ones. Now you have only figure one. You can see it here. So it's just a small workaround for that. Let's add a little bit more. So we have x label. Let's add y label. And that's y values. Then we can also add a read on. And we can also add a legend. For example, we can write it like this. A equal to x in the power of 3. So that's our legend. Because we have only one plot series, legend is not necessary, but I'll make it anyway. Yeah. So that's what you oops. In power of 3, of course. That's what I forgot. So that's what you see. You can see the title function plot. You can see the labels, x values, y values. That's the legend, and you can see that MATLAB is smart enough to understand that head 3 means x in a power of 3, so it makes this power. And then you can see also a grid, like a gray. I must say that MATLAB gives you huge possibilities to work with plots. If you go to help and write plot, for example, right, and then click on the plot, you will get a help on the plot function. That's the help on the plot function, you can see. And you can see some details, how to make several plots, how to change color, how to change line type, and so on. Some of the details we will discuss, some of them you can just simply find in this help. But if you click on this 2D and 3D plots, you can see that actually you have a tremendous amount of plots. So for example, line plots, you can see a lot of different functions that makes line plots. you have 3D plots, you have surface plots, and it's really a lot. Okay, and I highly recommend you to spend some time and to look at these possibilities. Now, the next thing which is useful to know is how to make several plots in the same figure. Actually, one figure may have as many plots as you would like to. You have to split your figure into several rows and several columns if you want to make several plots. Okay, so that's how to do it. You write function figure. First of all, you make a figure, then you use subplot, and then you write 3 numbers. First of all, it's how many rows and how many columns you want to split your figure into, and then the position of the plot you want to show. So, for example, plot x, y, and then I will also change the color of my plot. I will make it red. Okay, so you can see the figure. Even though I have only one plot, this one, you can see I have place for 3 more. So I use the first place now. This is the second place, this is the third place, and this is the fourth place. Then if for example, if I change 1 to, let's say, 4, my plot will be shown on the place number 4. It's this one. Okay. Then likewise, I can make more plots. For example, I can say this is plot number 1 on the position number 1, and then I will make a plot on the position number 3, and I will make it blue. Okay, so now I have 2 plots. Let me change the position to 4. So now I have 2 plots. This is at the position number 1 and it's red, right? And this is the position number 4 and it's blue. Okay. You can actually make even more difficult configurations. For example, you can say, let's say this is position 1, this is position 2, and you can make one more plot. Let's make it green, G. Then you can use a little bit different construction. Now I make parentheses, which actually has the same effect. So just write how many rows, how many columns. But if with parentheses, you can occupy several places at the same time. So in this case, I would like to occupy place 3 and 4 simultaneously. Now you can see that I make a plot like this. So I have, that's position 1, position 2, and then I say the next plot, the third plot, will occupy position 3 and 4 at the same time. Okay, so that's, you can also do it vertically if you want. Okay, so that's how to make several plots in the same figure. You also can make several plots in the same axis. So it means that you will have several plot series. Again, let me show you how to do that. We need several series. So we already have one, which is a cubic. I will make 2 more. Let's say y2 equal to x in a power of 2 times 10. Then let's say y3 equal to x times 100. Okay, so what if we want to show all these 3 series in the same plot? So I start with figure again, and I make a first plot, x and y. Let's make it, for example, red. Okay, so that's the plot. Now, if I want to add any series to the plot that I already made, I need to use functions hold on, hold off. So I say hold on, and then I make all plots, all extra plots if I want. Plot x, y2, let me make it blue, and then plot x, y3, and then we will make it, for example, green. Okay. Then at the end I need to say hold off. So I stopped making plots in the same axis, in the same coordinate system. So now you can see I have 3 plots together. So I have this one, and this one in the same axis. And then I can just continue with title, legend, labels, and so on. You can also combine plots of different types. For example, imagine that you would like to make a bar plot with error bars. Well, let me again show you how to do that. Let's say we have 4 different samples, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then we have average concentration in each sample. Let's say we have 0.2 milligrams per liter, we have 0.75 milligrams per liter, let's say 9 milligrams per liter, and 1.2 milligrams per liter. Okay, so we can make a bar plot figure. Figure, and then bar xm. So I have a bar plot. Okay. So that's the, let's say, the average values. What if I want to add the error bar? What if I have also standard deviation and I would like to add error bar to the plot? Well, first of all, let's define some standard deviation values. Let's say this is 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, and 0.045, let's say. So that's my standard deviations. And I would like to show an error bar plus, so it will show me the average value plus minus a standard deviation. Again, I can use hold on, because I want to make a new plot on top of the another plot. Then there is a function error bar that makes this. So I say xm, it's my coordinates of the average point, and also the s, which will be the error bar size. Okay, and then I'll make it, for example, I don't know, black. Hold off. And that's the result. So you can see this little error bars on top of the bars.